I'm Scott Powell. I'm with Northern Pines Nursery and Dutchman Tree Farms. You know, as a farm, we've been around for now 50 years. Actually been very blessed to have pretty humble beginnings. We started with a 40-acre tree farm about 5 miles from here. We have evolved now to farming about 10,000 acres throughout northern Michigan and a couple other states. What's exciting for us in our 50th year here is adding in the greenhouse and looking at moving from solely bare root production to adding in plug production and larger cell Ellepots using the AirTray technologies that's been developed by Blackmore. The benefit of an Ellepot versus a traditional styro-grown plug is you have 360-degree root pruning from top to bottom. The AirTray is where the Ellepot's actually grown. That's what helps the root pruning consistent, and then the AirTray then is grown on the rack. So we landed at designing our own tray with Blackmore, which was really good because from start to finish, they were there with us on little tweaks here, little tweaks there. And so we landed at this 150 count tray, which gives us a 30 by 100 mil cell, which is just the right size for producing that first year crop in conifer. Now, typically when you transplant, you end up disturbing a lot of the roots, you're trimming roots, you get a lot of transplant shock. By going solely through the Ellepot from one size to the next, we've essentially eliminated a lot of the transplant shock. We're not disturbing the root system. So what you can see here is a super fibrous root system. It's super fibrous all the way around. You don't typically get that in a bare root plant. All of these root tips, all of these root ends, all these white roots, those are where your nutrient uptake is going to be, but also where that root is going to go and excel and take off once it's in the soil. This is a field that we grew in 2021, and so we dug it out with the tree spade this morning, and we're going to wash the roots off and just see how the Ellepot's performed 12 months in the ground. We want to see how it compares to a bare root that would actually be an additional 1 year older than what this plant is already. Just a superior root structure. Much more fibrous system, much more feeder roots. Every piece of root goes in the soil and it's there, it's plumbed in, it's ready to go. Plant here would have been put in the ground as seed. And so we're looking at this plant roughly having 54 months prior to the field. Again, roughly same size, but we're also looking at a plant roughly 2 years younger here in the NP80 versus the bare root structure. It's no secret that growing a tree from seed takes about 10 to 12 years to hit production. If we can eliminate a year or two out of the nursery and then further eliminate a year or two out of the tree field, now all of a sudden we're into a potentially 7 to 8 year rotation producing a higher quality tree in a shorter amount of time. The old method with bare root transplanting and a lot of that being done by hand, we were always worried about, are we going to plant correctly? But when we're going to the field with the Ellepot, we're able just to go. We're just carrying a few with us, probably in a 10 to 20% time savings planting Ellepots versus going bare root. With the Ellepot, we minimize that transplant shock and that plant gets hooked in much faster. In an industry where touches are pennies, touches are dimes, touches are dollars, it's important for us to minimize the amount of time that we're touching a product. The Blackmore AirTray system, we essentially have eliminated 2 whole years of touches on this plant. We're in an active construction zone here at the greenhouse. We've got the capability here to put about 4 million plants inside, and the beauty of it is we're poised to be able to serve whatever ebbs and flows the industry has. We want to be the innovators. It's our 50th year. We're doing everything we can to try to transform an industry to produce a better quality plant that'll be there for not only your farm, but the future generations of your farm, because we truly believe that this is the future of forestry.